So with Counter-Strike 2's imminent launch out into the realm of PC gaming, I wanted to give my opinion about the game in its current limited testing phase, coming from the perspective of a player that Valve is targeting with this game specifically. One thing I feel like a lot of people forget when talking about Counter-Strike and CS2 is that they take the pros' word for gospel in this game, when the fact of the matter is the pros make up less than 1% of the player population. Pros are not the target demographic for Counter-Strike and CS2. The casual matchmaking player is who Valve is trying to capture. It has always been this way. Now, this isn't to say that the limited test doesn't have its own set of issues and quirks. With a new engine and a new game, things are bound to be different, break, or just outright not work in general. And I wanted to start this off by saying, first and foremost, CS2 is awesome. In fact, the game feels better to me now than it did a couple weeks ago, which kind of just shows that Valve is out here trying to make changes as fast as they can, and I'm betting the reason that it does feel better is that Valve has been making tweaks and changes to the lag compensation, but I could be wrong on that. So in essence, this game is almost the same as CSGO. Keep in mind that at this point, CSGO has been running strong for over 10 years. It's had time to cook. Whereas CS2 isn't out at this time of this recording, and already, I'm feeling super confident in Valve and the future of the game when it comes to this sequel in particular. The graphics, the lighting, the skins, especially after Valve fixed the case-hardened skins, that was a problem, and a lot of people in the community were having issues with case-hardened skins specifically when it comes to the game, something with the lighting engine or something like that, where basically causing the skins to look like absolute garbage. Now keep in mind, some other skins are still broken, but for the most part, I'm loving the look of the skins in this game, and the new models of the guns, everything is looking good. Sticker placement needs to be fixed. Other certain skins need to be fixed. Something happened with Dopplers and Gamma Dopplers with one of these latest updates. My Gamma Doppler, dude. What did they do to my Glock? But do we really think that this isn't going to be fixed as soon as possible? I mean, the game has always been about the hobby first, gameplay second. I'm joking, of course, but the game does look beautiful. The new engine, Source 2, it's just beautiful. It looks so good. Now, from the time that I've put into this closed limited test, most of the game feels responsive and fluid. Movement has gotten a lot better than it was when the test first released. I think it's almost one-to-one to CSGO now, maybe not quite, but it does feel good now. I'm not saying it did before, but from the moment that I got access to the game, movement between that and CSGO really wasn't much of a jaunt. It really wasn't much of a learning curve to try to figure out the movement in CS2. The movement feels great. Gunplay feels good. Like I said, the game is awesome. But with that being said, one thing that has seemed to change, in my experience at least, is the shooting. It just kind of feels a little bit off to me. At least it did. And maybe that was something that I had to get used to again. I hadn't played in a while. You know, it's just, maybe it clicked back with me. I'm not sure. But on the AK specifically, it really seems like tap shooting is the only way that I can make the AK work in this game. And I believe that they did change the spray pattern on the AK and some other guns as well, but it just feels really clunky to spray in particular. The tap shooting feels great on the AK, but the spray just feels a little weird, and maybe that has to do with, you know, learning the new spray pattern and things like that, but I don't know, the shooting just kind of feels a little bit different, and it's something that you're going to have to get used to unless they change it back. Now, this could have changed with the lag compensation update, because I have seen over the last few days that my shooting has improved a lot. Is that related to the lag compensation tweaks, or is that just me getting back into the swing of things with the game? I'm not sure. You got to keep in mind, too, that my highest rank ever achieved in CSGO was double AK, and when I came back 4 years later, I was in silver. So it could just be a skill issue, just coming back, not taking time to aim train, and then kind of easing my way back into how the guns work and things like that. But shooting does feel a little bit different, and I've asked people in-game on my team and people that I've played against in Premier Mode, and they all seem to say the same thing as well. Again, keep in mind, we're low elo players as well, so it could be a skill issue. Now, another thing that I just mentally think feels different maybe is pistol rounds. It almost feels like I can't hit a single thing. At least this was the case before. The last few days have been pretty good on the pistol rounds, but sometimes it just feels like, yeah, I'm aiming at you. I'm shooting 50 bullets. I'm not shooting as fast as I can. I'm taking my time, spacing out the shots. Nobody's dying. I get one tap to the face. But I just don't really, I don't know. I don't feel like this is a skill issue in particular because my pistol rounds in CSGO are usually pretty on point. In fact, the game that I played right after losing a game of CS2, I went 4 kills in a CSGO pistol round. So I just don't know. It just feels different. And this could be Premier mode not getting ranks right. That's one of the biggest complaints that I have about this test right now, is that Premier mode's matchmaking is absolutely horrendous. It's garbage. It's terrible. I'm CS rating 2,000 and I'm getting placed with 4,000, 6,000s, 8,000s. I played against a 12,000 the other day. Like, what is this matchmaking? It's absolutely awful. So maybe CS is just putting me with better players and it's just taking me more time to adapt to higher skilled players' movement and things that they do. I'm not sure. But I wanted to create this video from the perspective of somebody who is not a professional player, who's not even particularly super good at the game. Someone who just loves Counter-Strike. Now, other than the little shooting things that just kind of feel a little bit off, gameplay-wise, the game feels great. It looks great. In my opinion, it plays great. There's just a few things that if they don't fix, maybe it's a feature instead of a bug, or this is the way that it's supposed to be, that you might need to take some time to get used to a little bit. So we know the game looks great, plays great, feels great, graphics beautiful, skins are starting to, come back into the light. Valve is fixing issues with the skins, good stuff. However, there are a few things that I would personally like to see change that just seem to be bad game mechanics. The first one, and my biggest gripe, is surrendering. Why in the hell are we only allowed to surrender if a player abandons a match? If I'm losing a game 10-0, just let me surrender, Valve. What is that? If we have a teammate that's griefing, throwing, or said, I'll be right back 15 minutes ago, and they're just AFK at base, and we kick them, why can't I surrender? We're still down one player, whether he's here or not. This is a big quality of life change that should be made and needs to be made. Sometimes you just can't win the match. Don't force me to wait out the loss. Sometimes it's just not possible to win. Let us vote on surrender after a certain amount of rounds. Why is that so hard? We're not professionals in tournament play. Sometimes it's just best to GG, go next. And while we are on the topic of surrendering, whose dumbass idea at Valve was it to make surrendering a 1-vote requirement? Is this going to change when the full game launches? It certainly better. I don't understand the 1-vote requirement. This is the dumbest mechanic I have ever seen in my life. I was winning a game 11-5. We had a teammate leave and abandon, but so did the enemy team. Okay? We needed 2 more rounds, and at 12-9, we had a teammate call a surrender vote, and it passed just because they called it. What is that? The rest of us 3 were in it. We were ready to play. I'm ready to win. And because one guy got pissy about losing 2 rounds in a row, we all just have to lose? What is that? That's bogus. To lose CS rating because someone on your team is a crybaby. What a terrible mechanic. Not a bug, but a feature. So stupid. That needs to be changed. And I hope it's planned to be changed in the overall retail release, because the fact that one person holds the entire game's outcome in their hands if somebody abandons is the stupidest thing I have ever seen in my life. Another big gripe that I have is the Premier matchmaking mode. I'm on a 9-game losing streak right now because for some reason I either get not the best unranked players on my team, and I'm the only ranked person, and we're playing against rank 8K for CS ranks, which isn't the best, but it's better than me, and that's almost every game. Or it's just a blowout every time. Very rarely do I win or lose a game going into OT or getting close to OT, right? 3 games last night basically were, hey, we're going to start CT side. We're going to go 1 win against 11, and then we're going to lose after the first 2 rounds of the flip, basically. I just feel like the ranks in Premier mode are just far too skewed to actually make any sense. And maybe that's just because the game's not out yet. Hype has died down a little bit. Maybe not a lot of people are searching and actually playing the game. I'm not sure. Matchmaking in Premier mode does seem a little bit slow. You know, sometimes it's pretty instant. Other times it's like a minute and a half that you're waiting. So maybe that has something to do with it. Valve is just trying to put people in the game together so they can get testing done. I'm not sure. But the skewed nature of Premier Mode matchmaking is absolutely trash, which makes me really sad because Premier Mode is actually super fun. I'm a big fan of League of Legends, you know, picks and bans, that sort of thing, when it comes to ranked mode. So I really do like the, hey, ban 2 maps, ban 3 maps, ban 1 map, and then pick which starting team you're on. I really like the intro to that, because the fact of the matter is we're not professional players, but going into something like that really kind of makes you feel like it, man. It kind of makes it feel like your decisions matter. Like, oh, I'm not good on Anubis or Ancient, but I'm pretty good on Mirage, you know? So you can ban out the other 2 maps. You can discuss it with your team. It's super cool. But the skewed ratios of the CS ratings that I'm getting matched with now, pretty awful. So besides that, overall, I am beyond excited to see the full release of CS2. I'm ready for a fresh look at CS. The per map ranks got me super excited. That's another thing we didn't talk about. The traditional comp mode from CSGO is returning, not just Premier, and you will be able to go in and select whatever maps you want to play on. It'll be random, but you will have a rank for each map in the game. Now, I was talking to some friends about this the other night, and they didn't really seem to get that or think that it was a good idea. But I guess my thought process on it is that it kind of limits the pool, right? If somebody's really, really, really good on Dust, but really, really, really bad on Mirage, like, I'm not going to get that really, really, really good Dust player on Dust if I'm not the best on Dust. I don't know. I'm excited to see where it goes, because when it comes to like League of Legends, I really did enjoy the per role ranks, and I kind of feel like this is a little bit similar to that. So I'm excited to see where we go there. The Premier mode is very fun, albeit very frustrating with skewed ranks like we talked about. Why at 2K points am I playing with 6K point players and 8K point players? It just doesn't make any sense. Again, maybe there's just not enough people playing. I don't know, but I digress. I have seen some comments online that are not happy with CS2, and I can't seem to understand why. I've been playing CS again for about 5 months now, and so far, CS2 is where I've been spending most of my time. Right, I came back to CSGO, I played a little bit, I was doing some skin gamba, I was opening cases, things like that. Most of what I've been doing with CS for the last probably 3 months was skins. But now that CS2 is out in a limited test that I have access to, I have been spending all my time actually playing the game and loving every second of it. It's fantastic. It's so good. CS2 is where I've been spending most of my time, having the most fun, and just playing Counter-Strike again, which is what I wanted, man. Look back at CSGO beta, tell me that CS2 isn't in a better spot in this limited test where it is right now than Go was back in the day. Just tell me that. It took Valve years to get CSGO to half of what CS2 is, and that's factual. And back then, we have to remember too that pros back then in CSGO were saying the same thing that they're saying now, right? And eventually, everybody came around to it. Do I think that this is a good sequel? Yes, I do. And I'm even more excited to see what the future of Counter-Strike is now that we finally have a new game after over 10 years. I grew up on 1.6. Okay, I moved to Source when I was, in my teenage years. And then there was Go. And now we're finally getting a new installment over 10 years later that just looks good, plays great, and has all the features that we could want. For example, look at the buy menu. Some people don't like the buy menu because it looks too much like Valorant. But now we get to refund weapons. I get to put guns in that I actually want to use instead of being locked in to one weapon set. Valve's doing the right thing here. Everything right. And when the community complains collectively, they make changes, and fast. And I'm just confident in the future of CS. The pros and people that complaining, they'll adapt, or they'll move on. Because guess what? This is the end of the line for Go. When 2 goes live, Go is gone forever. Complaints happen with every new iteration of every new game ever. But you know what? You're still playing it, aren't you? Ladies and gentlemen, that's the video. If you liked it, like it. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.